See, walking through life.
What's up, everybody? It's been a minute. I wanted to talk about something. I kind of been, thinking about this one for a long time. It's kind of embarrassing. It's kind of something you don't want to, everybody knowing. But hey, I ain't shy. I ain't embarrassed either. I did what I did, So anyway, during my incarceration, uh, one of the goals when you're locked up is to try and get, somebody to bring you party favors into the prison. So, everybody, is trying to do that. And, it goes to the point of I've seen people, family members bringing it in to them. So, it is what it is. It's whoever you can get in to bring it. And, that's the thing, I was incarcerated for over 20 years. And, during some of that time, I was bringing in party favors. Let's just leave it at that. I was bringing party favors into the institution. It's illegal. It's against the rules. It's against the law. It's a whole bunch of things. But at the time, I'm already locked up. What you gonna do? Put me in jail? Send me to prison? You know. So we're up in here trying to, trying to do whatever we can. Any kind of hustle you can do to make some money. Because you ain't got. I didn't have people that were, sending me and doing all that. I was on my own, and you make do with what you got, and I, know how to make do with what I got. So there was this one time, we was it was some old cats, man. They used to be on me, cool in the mother. Both these dudes was lifers, So I don't remember what happened to them. Oh, I got a clip.
Two perking baby. There you go. Give me what you got. I'll raise you. Oh, yo, what the f are those? It helps keep the cholesterol down. Yo, oh man, do I look like I give a damn about my cholesterol right now? Come on now. You want a bump, G? No, I don't want none of that. That's right. I wouldn't put that in my nose if I was you. You know how they get in here, don't you? Tell them how to get in. People smuggle it in their ass. Say what? I ain't lying on this. I know them. Bring it in here. That come out to my ass. Go on, enjoy. Oh man, whatever. I know if I got to get high, I got to smell some angle ham, man. That ain't high. That's low. That cocaine, heroin, marijuana, all that, bring it over in there. I don't get it in there. That's right. Look like it's up to you, ass sniffer.
Yeah, so I try to tell these guys, man, look, don't tell nobody that, but they was asking and trying to find out because I think they eventually escaped. I don't remember what happened. I got bounced on somewhere else. But yeah, it was crazy, like at one point every week I was bringing in a quarter pound of marijuana, and once a month I was bringing in an 8 ball of crystal methamphetamine, and I was paying the lady's rent who was bringing it, and she didn't know, how much I was making. I was sending half of it somewhere else, to family to hold for me for when I came home. But like I said, it was a hustle, and we're up in there, trying to make the best out of a bad situation. So at the same time, I was trying to survive, being that, I was white and in a black gang, and the whites weren't happy about that, and I became, kind of like a target. But I'm a hard target to hit. But like I said, I'm lucky. There's so many things that happened during my incarceration that, allowed me to survive. One of them was me fighting for my life. And that, happened over and over. Um, but that's the thing, I'm trying not to focus on, the past. We're trying to focus on the present and the future. And that's the thing, a lot of people live by their past, but I'm not that guy anymore. But it's just strange when I tell somebody, because like when I'm at work, people don't realize, you know what I'm saying, when I tell them, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, check out my YouTube channel, and they check out my YouTube channel and they're like, man, how long you were, I wouldn't even have thought. Yeah, right. But but nah, I don't, you know what I'm saying, I try, you know what I'm saying, be professional when I'm at work because I'm at work. They pay me to do a job and I'm, you know what I'm saying, I try and do the best at anything I do. So, you know what I mean, when I'm at work, I'm professional and, you know what I'm saying, hey, this is how I feed my family. So, this is how I put a roof over my head. This is how I, you know what I'm saying, this is how I feed myself. And I don't know if anybody noticed, I'm losing a lot of weight. I'm shrinking. I'm almost back to my fighting weight though. Nah, it's crazy because uh, while I was incarcerated, I was at a point where I was bringing in a lot, and at one time I remember, you know what I'm saying, there was one situation where I had a half pound of marijuana mailed in to me, made it. It didn't come to me, it came to somebody else, and then it was supposed to go into the outgoing mail. But you know what I'm saying, no one's checking and it just disappeared. But no one checked it because it was for, for the staff. Yeah, this was a cool one because the staff wasn't there anymore. The staff had went back to India. So now we knew this dude went back to India, so it was like, okay, so we gonna try and send the package in. So the first package we sent with a half pound of marijuana. And you know what I'm saying, the package came for the guy, and then they was like, you know what I'm saying, they gave it to the inmate clerk. Here, put this in the outgoing mail. Return the sender. He don't work here anymore. So the dude, I told him that the package was coming. I told him what to look for. I told him everything, and he didn't believe me. He didn't think it would work. He didn't think none of this was going to happen. So then there was the day that the package showed up, and the staff did everything the way they were supposed to. Hey, so and so, put this in the outgoing mail. Oh, okay. So he gets the package, and then when he sees the outside of the package, it has a mark that I told him to look for, and now he knows take this package. But now, you know what I'm saying, he's in a different area. He has to come through my area, and I'm expecting him to just drop off the package, you know. And I'm just hoping it's there, hoping it made it, just a shot in the dark. What you gotta lose? A half pound? But back then, that wasn't, that wasn't much on the streets. And like I said, I was already bringing in a QP a week. So anyway, all this, what I'm saying, it makes it the dude has it, but now he's not, what I'm saying, he was like a white collar crime guy because he was so scared, so paranoid. Man, look, the dude, he's coming through getting off his job and he has to walk through my section and he tells me it's here, I got it. So I'm like, right, we in. But then, what I'm saying, as time goes by, what I'm saying, that the next day, what I'm saying, he's like, man, it's hot. I can't bring it today. And now here it is the third day. And it's like, I'm just waiting for him to just come by and just throw it at me and, what I'm saying, go on out to work change and back to the yard. But man, what I'm saying, the third day he comes and man, it's hot. I can't do nothing. So the fourth day, now I ain't playing no more. You know what I'm saying? And I work in a textile mill. So if anybody knows anything about textiles, it's all about working with strings. I'm a lead man. So I have the control of the toolbox, and the toolbox has a holster with some scissors. You know the 12-inch long scissors that go on your hand like brass knuckles. Oh yeah, those are on my hip. So when he comes by getting off work, I catch him in the hallway because I know he's coming, and if he ain't got the package, I man, look, I draw down on him. I pull my sword out, and he was like, "Man, you tripping." I'm like, "Man, look, if you don't bring that shit tomorrow, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna stick all of this up in you." And he's like, "Man, I'll get it. You tripping, man, you tripping." So he goes back, you know what I'm saying, gets off work, And then the next day, you know what I'm saying, he comes in and you know what I'm saying, everything is no, I'm waiting out there, waiting for him again to come by, you know what I'm saying, But when he comes, he got the package. So he throws the package at me and he said, man, I don't want nothing else to do with this. And I'm like, shit, you ain't got to tell me twice. I got to go. I got a half-pound of weed. So I got to go to my spot, stash, and, you know what I mean, do what I need to do. And I don't pay no attention to this dude, what he's saying or anything else. I'm on a mission now. You know what I'm saying? I got a half-pound. It's on. We supposed to have a party tonight. But, man, you know what I'm saying? The dude goes back and basically PCs up. Quits his job and goes on a suicide watch and never comes back. And it's like, what the hell? So now, you know what I'm saying, the next guy that's going to get this job is going to be a different race, and I'm ass out. I don't have nobody up in there to get me anymore. Oh, bad. So you win some, you lose some, but getting that in, though, the one time was, you know what I'm saying, that was a big win, because back then I was getting $300 for an ounce of weed that's inside, and I was spending like $50 for the ounce because I had connections, and you know what I'm saying, it was good, and I was putting money aside so that when I come home I have something, the starter kit, to get a place, to get a car, to get my basics, because I don't have nobody to go to. I don't have, you know what I'm saying, I do now. I didn't then, but the things have changed. That's the thing. That's I try and tell everybody that I'm not the same guy I used to be. I'm trying to better myself in every way. And that means, what I'm saying, correcting things that, character flaws, character defects. When you know that this is an issue, then it's something that you need to deal with. And you can't have somebody else fixing your problems. It's just gonna come back. I know. I try going that route. But like I said, I'm not the best, but I'm working on being it. I'm working on getting there, and that's the thing. It's every day. It's you just keep working.
Lights flash, beats crash, hearts go boom. In this place where dreams consume, chasing rhythm we never slow. Fire burning, light we glow.